Now I'm going to glue up the panels. These are the same process as everything else that you've already seen. Damping one side, applying the glue to the other. This is being made up of 3 sections of timber, so I'm going to do an additional step on this. Once the glue's dried, I'm going to run it through the wide belt sander to make sure all the joints are flat and smooth. The door itself is 55mm in thickness. These I've machined up to 56mm, so they're a millimetre thicker than what it needs to be. That's going to allow me to pass it through on both sides on the wide belt sander down to the final thickness. And that's going to ensure that all my joints are all perfectly flat. I don't want to sand this down with a belt sander or an orbital sander because you can sometimes get ridges. Putting it through the wide belt sander is going to ensure that I get a flat surface and eliminate any possibility that it's going to wave. The 4 internal panels, the square panels with a radius on the bottom, are all now glued together. Because I've done 3 timbers glued together to get to the final width, I'm left with a line. I could sand this down with a hand sander, so something like a belt sander or an orbital sander, but the risk that you take with that, because these are 18 inches wide, you can start, because Sequoia is a really soft timber, because it's been dried out, it's softer than what normal pine is. It's quite easy to dig in a little bit and you can be left with a wavy pan rather than a flat panel. Rather than doing it that way, I'm going to put it straight onto the wide belt sander. This will take 600mm wide or just over, so these can easily fit in. So the next step is to run them through on both sides and get down to the final thickness. These were finished machining at 56mm. The door itself and the panels need to be 55, so I have 0.5 millimetre on each side to take off. And this will just finalise it down whilst keeping everything perfectly flat. All the inner panels now are finished, sanded down. They just need cutting down to size and shaping. I'm actually going to leave these at the moment. I want to jump back on the inner circle here to try and finish off the inner panel. So it's an exact replica as what we've got here, just on a smaller version. I've got the curved beading and moulding to go around the outside first, and then an inner panel like this to create a smaller centre circle. Once that's done, I'm going to do all the beadings, which are quick and simple to do apart from the curved ones here, which will be back on another template, and then the panels will be faded into place and the door will be pretty much almost finished then, apart from a final sand and a clean up. So we're not too far off now, we're making good progress. It's just the inner circle which is going to take the most time. Once that's completed, everything else is straightforward, quick and easy to get done.